Okay, I don't usually do this kind of thing, and I don't know why this is what sent me on the fucking tirade I'm about to go on, but oh boy, it sure did send me. Before I get started, I just want to say that I don't hate this person. I don't hate Sill Gaming, because I don't know who Sill Gaming is, and I can't hate someone I don't know. I simply hate the words coming out of their mouth, and I imagine they're probably gonna hate the words that are gonna come out of my mouth, so if this video comes off as mean, I'm sorry. I just like playing an over-the-top character to deliver my points in a way that I find more entertaining than remaining calm and collected. And call that immature if you want, I don't even disagree. But at the end of the day, we're all just people crying about a video game, and it doesn't get much more immature than that, folks. Why Deltarune challenge runners are afraid. Oh no! Not the challenge runners! Oh, and also, parentheses, it's not good. It's not good. The main argument the video is making is that Chapter 3 and 4 of Deltarune aren't good for a no-hit challenge run because a few of the fights are slightly RNG-based. They aren't impossible, they're just really hard. The main argument that my video is making is that if you're upset that a challenge run is challenging, you should probably rethink a few things, especially when it isn't even something the creator of the game intended to be done. Now, before I start talking, I just gotta make something clear. Our protagonist here has made it clear that you are forbidden from commenting on the video before watching 11 minutes and 29 seconds of it, and naturally, I take this very seriously. So I would like to make it clear that I have watched 11 minutes and 30 seconds of this video and still think it's stupid. From what I can tell, the main issues with the new chapters are the night, which kinda makes sense. They have a lot of sections that aren't meant to be dodged in the first place, so if you're going against that, it'd probably be pretty tough. And La Niño and El Niña, which are a boss fight that's in the game. Apparently there's a bug that makes them easier, but isn't allowed in challenge runs. My question is, who decides what's allowed in a challenge run? I think it's the person doing the run, but apparently they have standards and practices that prevent you from cheesing a mini-boss, which I don't understand. If we're already throwing out playing the game normally, why is a bug so bad? Presumably because it makes it easier, but if the whole challenge run community wants the run to be less challenging, as this video claims, why not allow it? This seems more like a civil dispute than a game design issue to me. Oh, but wait, that's not all. In combination with the notoriously unfair fight that is Rules fucking card, you also have to press 5 buttons and wait 7 seconds to retry. You know what? I'm willing to give them that. Give these people a quick load button. They need it after all the hardship they have to face every day. Apparently, Chapter 3 is a mythic rating, when Chapter 1 was intermediate and Chapter 2 is expert. Now, if you're anything like me, those words mean fucking nothing to you because this isn't Geometry Dash. I think the biggest issue is how these people have turned trying to no-hit a boss into a fucking leaderboard with points. No one's forcing these rules onto you. If you want to use a glitch on a boss, I say just do it. And if you have to change your system's rules because the game it's based around in the first place doesn't accommodate it, then just do that. But you can't do that, because if you change the rules, all your points are worthless. All your points are worthless! Also, I'm sorry, but if you try to convince me that this issue affects more than like 10 people, I'm gonna turn into Eric Cartman singing about minorities in my Deltarune. The vast majority of the player base just does not care, and I'd be willing to bet that Toby Fox probably agrees with them. Have you ever thought that there's a reason why Toby has historically been against putting achievements in his games, and when he's forced to, he deliberately makes them stupid, and the closest thing to a challenge run he's ever officially added to the game is trying to miss every single achievement? It's because when you get too lost in the sauce, Rules card becomes an actual threat, and when that happens, you should take a step back and think about what brought you here. They also talk about Gerson getting buffed when the change was intended to be a nerf. Except the change wasn't intended to be a nerf, and you just made that up because you're mad you have to actually dodge the attack. Where does it say in the patch notes that you show on screen that this change is meant to make him easier? It just says the hitbox were adjusted, nothing about making it feel more natural. And even if it did, I would say having to have less than 60% of your soul literally inside of the hammer to avoid damage is more natural than whatever this is. They then talk about how Sans was fair and how important being fair is, and I completely agree. I also think that having to avoid the hammer attack on Gerson is a very fair thing to expect. If I was Gerson, and I saw you dodge it like that, I'd be crashing out in this junt, cause that's some bullshit. They also complain about how the knight is unfair, and show a clip of Rousey taking 124 damage while defending, and I saw this and thought, wow, that's more than I remember it doing. Do they not have the Shadow Mantle equipped? No, that'd be stupid. And then 2 seconds later, it turns out they didn't have it equipped and just don't care, because not everyone is going to go out of their way to get a secret boss item just to beat this. At this point, you're just playing the game incorrectly. You are meant to get the Shadow Mantle to have a chance at beating the knight. Sham literally tells you this, and Gaster reminds you if you forgot, but I guess words are one of the few things in this game you actually can dodge. Also, I thought the entire point of this video was the no-hit run. If you're not taking damage in the first place, it doesn't matter how much damage the knight does. I guess this is one of the issues outside of the no-hit run that you mentioned in the comments, which we will definitely be discussing later. One of my friends tried to beat the knight without the Shadow Mantle, because they accidentally unequipped it before the fight. 1 hour and a pair of broken headphones later, he realized he didn't have the Shadow Mantle, and his reaction was, "Wow, that was really stupid of me," not, "I shouldn't have to have the Shadow Mantle, bad game design." But apparently this is bad game design, because why leave lesser skilled players in the dust just to make your villains look super powerful? The knight is not a required boss in any way. The fight serves as a glorified cutscene to most players. You aren't being left in the dust, you're dropping to the ground and rolling in the dust on your own and then getting mad that it doesn't work.
If Chapter 5 no-hit turns out to be harder than Chapter 3, and Chapter 7 ends up being easier than Chapter 2, this will create more difficulty spikes that make the overall difficulty of the game go all over the place. And this is not good game design. And I know this because I wrote a paper about it for my final exam.
Well, I'm sorry, Doctor. I wasn't familiar with your practice. I'm genuinely convinced that this might be a joke, because this is only a few levels above source. I made it the fuck up. Jesus Christ. They show this clip of the knight, and I'll be honest, I completely agree this is bullshit, and would probably benefit from being changed, but first off, I have never had this happen to me, and I've fought the knight a lot, so that leads me to think it's pretty rare. And also, again, no one is forcing you to no-hit it, and one hit on one attack isn't going to stop someone who's good at the fight. AKA the average player who'd be practicing the boss to beat it. I still agree that it should be fixed, though, considering there's actual gameplay reasons to try to beat this fight. Speaking of attacks that are impossible to dodge, they bring up Phase 4 of Azrael in Undertale, which is another glorified cutscene that I am pretty sure is literally impossible to die to, but I might be wrong about that since I haven't played Undertale in a while. Again, this is just very clearly meant to be unavoidable, so just change your arbitrary-ass rules to let this not count. Just because you can no-hit it doesn't mean you should. I think your video has proven that very well. I remember this old video I watched a pretty long time ago about why no-hitting Azrael Phase 4 is impossible, and it was so much more reasonable that it's the same person! What happened to you, Syl? Oh, it was the Chapter 3 wait, I'm sure. That drove everyone nuts. That's the end of the video. From here on, it's the conclusion, and I think I've already concluded quite a lot from it, so no need to talk about that. But we aren't done. I want to talk about the comments. This video took a few weeks to make, so I hope I didn't get anything wrong or leave anything out. Edit. People have actually lost the ability to be able to read! The majority of these commenters don't understand why I left a timestamp in the video and how I'm speaking for everyone! Not just me! I didn't make this video because I felt like I have to do no-hit. I have many other games for that, and Deltarune is honestly one of my last picks due to the issues I've included. I made this video because the way that the difficulty of the game is heading is a dangerous path, because it sets the game up for a heavily unbalanced difficulty curve, which, as I've explained in the video, is not good game design. Undertale does better than this, though not by a lot. Also, notice the plural word, runners, in the title. It's not, why am I afraid, for that reason. Read the thumbnail and the title. It's not just about me. Okay, it's all of you? So you all have a whack-ass take. Who cares? You're the one talking about it. I officially clarify that this video is making fun of everyone who agrees with this person, not just them. I hope that clears things up. Play the game as a challenge run? These types of runs are made to ignore the basics of the game for an challenge. Surprise, the game it's hard and not designed for that. Even outside of no-hitting, there are still issues. Ah, yes, the issues. What are the issues? I've played Chapter 3 like 4 times and I didn't see any issues. Is Mike the issues? I heard Spampton called the issues on the phone one time. I guess that's why Still Gaming went nuts too. This kinda just makes you sound entitled. The game's difficulty is not all over the place. It's pretty obviously linear with a few optional bumps for hidden bosses. Difficult attacks are balanced out by the damage they deal since, you know, having a health bar is an intentional game mechanic. Challenge runs are difficult specifically because they ignore key game mechanics, which is something that Toby cannot always design for, and it would be unreasonable to expect him to. I didn't make it just for myself. Most challenge runners feel this way too. I'm just very loud about it. And the comment isn't just for you, but also for everyone that shares your same sentiment. I'm sorry, but you're the minority of players, and most likely Toby won't give up a purposeful beatdown to the player with meaning behind it because my challenge runs. The complaints in the video are akin to putting on boxing gloves, punching yourself in the face, and then getting mad at the boxing gloves for being poorly designed. Deltarune's difficulty curve is perfectly fine whenever you play the game as intended. The bumps of difficulty come from optional content. This guy said it perfectly. You can skip the ERAM fight. You can also argue that the night doesn't count, as it's a semi-scripted loss, but there is no way of avoiding the weather Dow. Like I said in the video, not everyone is going out of their way to get the Shadow Mantle. This comment is literally agreeing with the video, and they still have to come in and fucking correct it. Come on. Also, okay, was I just good from the start? I didn't have a problem with these guys at all, and apparently everyone thinks they're really hard. I can't tell if this guy is talking about the regular game or bullshit percent speedrun or whatever, but I never really thought that personally. Alright, this one's my favorite. This is why I wanted to make this video. 5 minutes 11 seconds. Hitboxes of Sword Tunnel attack was patched, it said in a patch notes. And then Still Gamin' hits him with the, "You didn't get to 11:29 before writing this comment, did you?" Yeah, see, that's where you screwed up. You gotta pay attention to the holy timestamp, or else you'll look a fool. At Real Still Gaming, why did you put it in the video if it was already patched? And then just nothing. No reply. Where could it be? I have no idea. They suddenly had to reply to a comment, but when they read the response, their face went pale, and they ran right out of the room. So I went to read the comment, thinking it was finally my chance to find the issues, but there was no reply. That little freak ripped me off. I wish they never posted that video. From what I've seen, most of the comments dislike this video, and I'm sure you can figure out my opinion on it pretty easily. To be clear, you shouldn't harass this person in their comment section. I only highlighted comments that I feel have some actual value, whether it be comedic value or actual insight. Making a video that has insults in it in an entertainment context is very different from just calling them mean shit in the comments. Anyway, thanks for watching whatever this was. Probably won't do it again unless I come up with a good reason to, or something else annoys me enough to need to crash out on the internet about it. If you feel I was too rude, I invite you to be just as rude to me in the comments. The funniest one wins, provided you got to this specific timestamp, because otherwise you need to chill the hell out and listen, damn it.